Okay, you can stop your circles there. Okay, lovely. So we're going to keep drawing slowly, there's no rush. The aim is to continue to stay in the present moment. And if we do find ourselves thinking or worrying about the past or the future, then we just notice and bring yourself back to the drawing and back to your breath. So we're going to do another breath drawing, and you can change pen if you want to. And this one's very simple. We're just going to draw lines with every out breath. So for the length of your breath out, you just draw a line like this for the whole time that you're breathing out. And then you breathe in, and again when you breathe out, you just draw the line again. So if your posture's changed, then just roll those shoulders back again. And when you're ready, close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out. So you're just recording your breath with the pen. And you might start to feel your shoulders drop a little bit further with each out breath. Okay, and you can stop there. Choose a different pen if you have one handy. And now we're going to do our box breathing, and we're going to draw a box along with our breath. So for our in breath, We're going to do one side of the box. We're going to pause for the next side. Then we're going to go out breath for the next side. Pausing again, and then back to our in breath. So you're just using the pen to follow, and it's hard, you're not trying to hold your breath at all, you're just trying to record the pause that happens between the in and the out breath. At first there might not be much of a pause, but often it gets longer and longer the more that you pay attention to your breath. Okay, are you ready? Okay, go. In breath for one side. Notice that pause for the next side. Out breath. Pause. And if you lose your rhythm, that's okay. Just come back to whatever side of the square you're on. Okay, you can stop there. just pause for a moment and notice how you feel. Drop your shoulders again if you need to. Okay, and we're going to start with our observational drawing when you're ready. So this is a blind drawing, and the reason that we don't look at the page when we're drawing is to remove the preconceptions of what a drawing is or what it should look like. Drawing is a natural process that happens between the brain, the eyes and the hand, and you don't need to force it or overanalyze what's happening. So the process is like an accident. What happens on the page is the result of a natural process. Okay, so I'm going to grab a new piece of paper. For this one. And what you want to do is whichever hand you draw with, so I'm right-handed, so I move my page slightly over to the right and my object slightly over to the left. And the reason for that is that I don't want my page directly in between myself and the object, because then I can't help but look at my drawing. So the aim is to not look at the page at all. So you want to slide it over to one side and slide your object over to the other side. Okay, so this is a blind drawing where you don't look at the page, and it's also going to be a continuous line drawing. And what I mean by that is that, for example, if I'm drawing this bit of my handbag, and then my eyes kind of dart around and I decide, oh, I'm looking at this bit of the handbag, it means if I don't take my pen off the page, that I have to encounter all the detail that's happening in between point A and point B. So you're noticing not just the outline of the object, but the outline of things like stitching, or you might run into a bit of texture on the way that you want to draw. So you're really just following, your eyes are moving around the object and your pen is following your eyes on the page. So you're recording the movement of your eyes. So you're practicing looking rather than drawing, really. Your pen's just recording what you're seeing along the way. Okay, so we'll do a quick one where you just try and take in as much as you can, and then we'll go on to some slower ones in a minute. Okay. Ready? You can start drawing if you haven't already. So start anywhere you like, and just quickly record the sort of forms that you're seeing. They might be round, they might be square. Your bag might have nice like crumples and wrinkles in it, depending on how it's sat on the table. You can record all of those wrinkles in the fabric as well. And if you want to revisit sections, then you can. You're just trying to take the whole object in and move around. You can also be moving across surfaces as well. You don't have to be just focusing on the outline. Okay, so you can stop that drawing, and what you want to do is take a different pen, and this time actually you want to take 2 pens at once. We're going to do this. The old art school favourite. Yeah, so take 2 pens at once and just hold them kind of like this, and just get them so that both are on the page, and then you can carry on drawing. Just working over the top of what you've already got. Find some new aspect to look at or to record that maybe you didn't see before. Maybe you're looking at stitches or a pocket. And the stitches are really easy to do with a dotted line. Maybe there are some nice details like a buckle or a strap. can stop there and you can start a new page. That one's probably quite full now. This is what mine looks like. All of these close up on the bag, I've got all of these little like straw marks. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's like these little V shapes. And depending what your bag is like, it might have some texture as well. And if it doesn't have texture, it definitely has surface. And so there will definitely be, for me, the texture is often a way of mapping the surface, if that makes sense. So we're going to do a little bit of that, a little bit of mark making. So this is mark making. You can use any type of mark that you want. Dots are really nice to do, crosses are really nice, lines even, or little like curly whirly marks. So you can choose whatever mark you think is appropriate to work with. And what we're going to do is you're going to start on your page with by looking at the light areas of your object. So on every object there's going to be patches of light. Particularly on a textile, there's places where that light's bouncing off. And all you're doing is noticing where there's a light patch, and on your page you're kind of filling that light patch with a mark that's the sort of the same size as the patch, if that makes sense. So like if I'd chosen an X, I was like, okay, here's a light bit, I'm going to fill that light bit with small X's, if that makes sense. So your page will probably end up looking like just patches of X's in all different places. But what you're doing is recording where you can see light bouncing off your object. Does that make sense? Okay, ready? Go for it. So I'm going for little V's, and I've got kind of a curved patch. So I'm still not looking at my page, not worrying about what's happening on the page, and I'm just using the V's to fill up that light patch. And you can make little rows of the marks. And what's happening on the page is not important. All that's important is recording what you can see. using those marks to fill those areas. And while you're working, you can just try to soften the muscles in your forehead. Okay, and now you can stop there, grab a different pen, maybe something a bit darker, and you're going to do the same thing for the dark areas that you can see, only you're going to use a different mark. So for me, I think I'm going to do dots, and I'm just going to fill the shadow, the dark areas with dots. And you might decide to kind of graduate your dots so there's more of them where it's darker, and fade them where the darkness starts to fade. Okay, go for it. Try to follow the forms that you're seeing with your marks. If it's a curved shape, then follow that curve with the marks. Try not to be tempted to look at the page. The beauty of not looking is that there's no way to judge your drawing. Your drawing might be, you might think it's good, you might think it's bad, but ultimately you weren't even looking when you did it, so how can you judge yourself for any of it? Okay, you can stop there. And so now it looks something like this. So if you want to, you can keep going on top of that one, which I think is a good idea. Go with a different pen. I'm going to go with a bit of silver action this time. And we're going to return to our continuous blind line drawing. So not looking at the page, only looking at the object, but this time you've spent more time with your object so you can see it in more detail. And what you can do is spend more time in one area, if that makes sense. So you're going a little bit slower this time. Ready? Go. And you don't have to get all the way around the object this time. You can just do a small area. Just gently following your way around. And you can add some of those dotted lines for any stitch lines that you can see. Okay, you can stop there. The beauty of these is you can kind of work into them later on if you want to. But often these type of exercises are things that we use to kind of warm ourselves up for drawing in a more restricted way later on. So this is a really good way to kind of get over any fear of the blank page, and the breath drawing ones. They're a really good one to do if you're kind of like supposed to be working but you find yourself doodling or drifting off a bit. Sometimes it's nice, you can just put a timer on for 1 minute and just do that for 1 minute as a way to be mindful. And then what happens is once your mind's a bit clearer, sometimes you can go back to your work with a bit of a clearer head and you're more able to solve problems and things like that. Mindful drawing. There you go. And I'll show you my drawing a bit, and then I'll change the view and stop this recording so that I can see your drawings properly. Hang on. There we go, that's mine. Let me try and figure this out because I wasn't allowed to take a screenshot. Zoom hated me. So I'll just stop this for a second.